Hey guys, it's Nick from S here. Recently, an Invincible fighting game was revealed, titled Invincible Versus, a 3v3 tag team fighter similar to games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm incredibly excited for this one. An Invincible video game is long overdue, and there's no better way to start than with a fighting game. There's going to be a story mode, competitive and casual multiplayer modes, and an arcade mode too, where you'll be able to unlock characters. Along with exciting gameplay and over-the-top violence like in the comic and show, this is a true Invincible fan's dream come true. I've seen some pushback from fans who aren't interested in fighting games, but I still say give it a shot. This game has potential to be a real love letter for Invincible fans, and if they still aren't sold, well, their loss. A few characters have been revealed already, like obviously Invincible and Omni-Man, but also Adam Eve, Rex Splode, Bulletproof, and two Viltrumites, Thula and Lucan. Today's video will be me diving into my roster wishlist for Invincible Versus, unique characters that I'd love to see in game and that I think could offer really fun fighting game kits. So, without further ado, let's get into it. It wouldn't be an Invincible game without the lovable Seth Rogen voiced Unopin, Alan. He could be a heavy hitter, but not your typical slow one since we see in the show he's quite fast too. They could also have his Season 1 look and Season 2 look as costumes for him. Stand ready for his arrival, Worm. This game's roster wouldn't be complete without Conquest. His metallic fist and ruthlessness would make for another kick-ass fighting game character. I could see him being a slower, tanky character built to take hits and dish them out even harder. Marvel vs. Capcom has Spider-Man, Invincible Versus could have Agent Spider. While it really was Spider-Man who appeared in the Invincible comics, the show obviously couldn't acquire the rights to the character, so enter Agent Spider, a very clear, legally safe version of the character, who was even voiced by a former animated Spider-Man voice actor. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for this, as he would have a very unique moveset compared to the standard punchy Viltrumites. Web swinging, webbing up the opponents, I mean, he can do whatever a spider can. Monster Girl is another character who could have interesting mechanics in-game, being a weaker fighter in her regular form, but getting a huge buff in her monster form. Being able to grab and overwhelm her opponents, and slam them around Hulk Loki style. Her transformation could be tied to a meter that the player would have to use strategically. And we can't forget about Anissa. I'm not really sure how they could make her more unique than the other Viltrumites, but we can't skip out on the most badass Viltrumite woman in the series. If Thula made the cut, Anissa is sure to be a shoo-in. She could be a quicker, lighter Viltrumite as opposed to the heavy hitters we've seen so far. Robot's vast array of gadgets and high-tech arsenal would be a breath of fresh air in this game's roster of mostly superpowered, muscle-bound fighters. He could be one of the more technical fighters in the roster, combo heavy as opposed to super powerful, and could harass opponents mid-combo with drones, set up gadget-based traps, and just be a zoning heavy character all around. Speaking of more technical gadget-based fighters, Tech Jacket could also fall under this umbrella. Unfortunately, we don't see much of him in the Invincible show since he reigns from his own comic series, and is just a short cameo during the Invincible War in the show. If they pulled abilities from his comics, he would make for another great addition, and would be sort of like Invincible Versus' own guest fighter. Tech Jacket's abilities include energy blasts powerful enough to blow holes through Viltrumites, flight, force fields, and the ability to create extra weapons. I sure as hell want to see him in this game. The Shapesmith could be a comedic relief fighter. With his ability to shapeshift, it would be a missed opportunity not to include him and his wacky power. Not to mention his elastic powers, being able to stretch his body in all kinds of ways. He could have great defense, and even potentially be able to help defend his teammates like he does in the show. Another candidate is Shrinking Ray, who can alter her size to be as small as she wishes. She could be another technical fighter with special moves that allow her to shrink down, like Adam from the Injustice games. While she doesn't have very diverse powers, it's still enough to make for a unique fighter among the roster. Oliver, aka Kid Omni-Man, feels like a shoo-in, especially with how prominent he became in Season 3. Instead of being a tough and gruff, heavy-hitting Viltrumite, Oliver's moveset could focus on his childish antics and lack of experience, which would be nothing short of entertaining. The Mauler twins could be a tag team 2-in-1 fighter, and they're just really fun villains in the show. I mean, who doesn't love them? The devs could also make just one playable, but I think having them both fight side by side in their moveset would be interesting. Plus, they wouldn't argue about who the clone is if there's only one. They could have synchronized attacks, one grabs the opponent from behind while the other feeds them with punches, or even have one Mauler twin hurl the other towards the opponent. Since they're also intelligent and tech-savvy characters, there's also potential for some more gadgets with these two. Without a doubt, Battle Beast is one of the best characters from Invincible, and being such a bloodthirsty warrior in search of a challenge, it's a no-brainer he'll make his way to this game. With his raw strength and assortment of melee weapons, like swords and maces, there's infinite potential for a killer moveset in-game. Battle Beast will be the tankiest tank that ever tanked. Definitely would be very slow, but very powerful. The original Guardians of the Globe would all be a great way to further diversify the roster, especially Red Rush, Green Ghost, and Aquarius. Speedsters are always fun in fighting games. Red Rush could be extremely quick and combo heavy, but a glass cannon when hit. Green Ghost could have some great defense with her ability to phase through things and be a counter-heavy fighter. Aquarius could be the game's resident water boy, using waves and water streams to control the arena and push his opponents back. Considering their lack of screen time, I'm not sure how likely they are, but never say never. Duplicate and Immortal will most likely be playable, and while they both could have interesting movesets for a fighting game like Kate's cloning ability and Immortal's immortality, this video is my wish list, not a predictions video. And if it was up to me, neither of those bum-ass characters would be in the game. Another character worth mentioning is Thrag, but as far as the show has gotten, he hasn't been introduced yet, so it's hard to say if they will add him to the base game. This game isn't releasing until 2026, so it's possible the show could catch up in this time. Either way, I feel like he'd be a DLC character at best. The Invincible universe is home to many interesting and powerful heroes and villains, so this roster is going to be nothing short of epic. I only hope the developers can do all of these characters justice and make sure the roster is diverse enough. But based on the gameplay we've seen already, I have faith. Which characters do you want to see most in Invincible Versus? Do you agree with my picks, or did I miss someone crucial? Let me know in the comments below. Can't wait to cover more on this game. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.